What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Mickie James rips the WWE, Alberto Del Rio's shocking allegations and secrets against Paige, Daniel Bryan to Raw, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Now, first story looks at Mickie James ripping the WWE. A recently released WWE superstar, Mickie James, isn't holding back on her criticism of the way the WWE books its women's division. James appeared on the Grown Ass Women show on YouTube discussing how she proposed the WWE feature an all-female brand, and WWE's reaction. Anything I pitched, they weren't into it. I wanted to find a balance in between. There was this moment where I said, what if we do an all-female brand? If I could help lead that and have an awesome team of women, we have the talent, tools and facilities. It would really help all the girls who are not getting television time. Now, the WWE has a wealth of underutilized female talent, something both fans and ourselves have repeatedly pointed out, whether it's poor use of the undercard in its singles division or its tendency to split tag teams, although this isn't limited to the female division. James revealed the answer she received, which may not come as a surprise to anyone familiar with pro wrestling. This one person says to me, they're never gonna do it, ever. Women's wrestling doesn't make money. WWE Evolution was the lowest rated pay-per-view ever in WWE. I get what you're trying to do, but I don't understand why you're fighting so hard for it. You should play the cards you're dealt and see if there's a way to incorporate that within a show rather than fight for it to be its own show. I just realized that every decision they do, a lot of it's business and how it falls in line with business. There are two ways to look at the WWE's reported reaction. The first, that the WWE is justified in its response, as it's a publicly traded business and is looking to maximize profits. Why would they want to take the risk of an all-female show after its Evolution pay-per-view underperformed? It's just good business sense not to spend time and effort on something which does not turn a profit. However, the argument can also be made that the WWE has made a serious effort to push its women's division into a profitable division. As we've repeatedly noted, they talk about its women's revolution and it uses it as a marketing tool to show how progressive the company is. Nonetheless, it is inconsistent at best when it comes to booking its female superstars, booking things even more incompetently than its men's division. They should consider making the effort to build up the women's division and see if it can be marketed into a successful aspect of television and possibly generate enough interest to warrant an all-female brand. She sounded incredibly frustrated with the way she feels she was treated in the WWE, missing out on a lot of moments, whether it was trying to tie Trish's record or the Chelsea Green angle. There was a lot of things that she felt that WWE missed the boat on. Now, it bears mentioning that James was sidelined for over a year after suffering an ACL injury, which naturally made it impossible for her to do any in-ring work. But what do you think of her comments on the WWE's booking of its women's division? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Daniel Bryan headed to Raw? Well, that's one of the theories circulating due to Bryan's high-stakes match against Universal Champion Roman Reigns on this week's edition of SmackDown. The WWE has made it clear that if Bryan loses, he'll be banished from SmackDown. That would open the door for the leader of the Yes Movement to jump to the Red brand, head to NXT, or simply retire from wrestling. There's always that chance that Bryan could win the title on Friday, but right now it appears that fans are preparing for the worst. Cage-side seats have reported that the current speculation is that Bryan will lose this week. Let's hope it's not Raw, but he would absolutely do incredible on NXT. Next up, Alberto Del Rio's shocking allegations against Paige. Alberto Del Rio is finally responding to former fiancée Paige's insinuation that Del Rio may have engaged in mistreatment against her, making some shocking allegations about her. This is just the latest wild turn concerning former couples' personal lives, as Paige and Del Rio's romantic relationship was always brimming with controversy even during the best of times. As bad as Paige's insinuations were, Del Rio faces even more serious allegations as he's scheduled to go to trial this May. Nevertheless, some fans wondered why Del Rio never responded to Paige, and according to the former superstar, there was a good reason. During a talk with Lucha Libre Online, Del Rio disclosed, "For this reason, and also for the love, for the beginning, for the two parties, to protect them, we did it and signed a confidentiality agreement for $1 million. After signing it, I found out that Paige didn't own a house, she didn't have a car, she didn't have more than $70,000 in the bank, and the one who really had to lose something was me." If Del Rio's comments are accurate, it raises the question of just how much Paige was making as a superstar and what she was doing with that money. There are a number of reasons, and there's no need to delve into sketchy speculation other than to point out she wouldn't be the first wrestler to have difficulty managing their money. Del Rio claims that he and Paige plan to build an empire together, but rather than growing as a couple, they self-destructed. He realized his kids would suffer if he broke the agreement. Because thank God, WWE, Impact, AAA, all those companies made me great and gave me to win, but that money belongs to my children. It is the future of my children, it is for them to become someone. If the relationship ends, it hits me, my family hits me, and although everyone told me why I didn't say anything, because that's why, because I was tied to that contract, whoever I spoke to was going to come immediately to tail. Del Rio denied the allegations made against him by Paige and added, "I will not say more. I only say this because I have to protect the future of my children. I asked Paige because I have no intention of affecting her life. Thank God you have a job. You continue to support it. You continue to receive your payment month after month. Keep it. I ask you to hopefully leave me in oblivion as I left you, and that you walk, go ahead, and that God bless you. Paige, I'm not going to collect money that doesn't belong to me." Curiously, Del Rio did not say why he was able to break the non-disclosure agreement, but he did mention that he could produce it if asked. This is the latest tangled turn in Del Rio's life, one which has been tumultuous for the last few years. What do you guys think of Del Rio's comments? Next up, WWE preparing for live events. Our fans hoping to attend live events may get their wish soon, as the WWE appears to be testing the proverbial waters for the return of WWE fans. PW Insider is reporting that they would like to run test events this summer in preparation for live events. While they ran WrestleMania 37 with fans and is expected to run SummerSlam with fans present, the WWE Universe would like to know whether they can attend things such as Raw and SmackDown tapings. Rumor has it they're looking at July or August to start, and it's possible they could do a few test run weekends, but as of this writing, no touring dates have been locked in, nor have any buildings been booked yet. The problem, of course, is unpredictability caused by the pandemic. They tried to resume live events last summer, but soon discovered that the coronavirus made it difficult to run shows with fans present. I take this news with a pinch of salt, as there's no telling what could happen between now and the summer. Management has previously stated that once it resumes live events, it will be a regular occurrence and they do not plan on scaling back. And finally, Braun Strowman's big record. Congratulations to Braun Strowman, who accomplished a first on Raw. According to the math mavens at WWE Stats and Info's Twitter account, you requested it, we researched it. After reviewing nearly 1,000 records, our data shows that this Monday on Raw, Braun Strowman became the first superstar in the history of WWE, WCW, ECW to compete in televised singles, tag team, and handicap matches all in the same night. The Monster Among Men's accomplishment is an example of how wacky the 26th edition of Raw was, and the WWE booked Strowman into 3 matches that night. Do you think this record is an example of bad booking, or just one of those oddities that occasionally pops up in wrestling? But there you have it, folks, the latest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.